Hello, hello. This is Bix, Weir, We're waiting to see if it actually works. Something's happening. Oh my goodness, it actually worked. This is awesome. So I'm using a new software to me, but an old software to everybody else on YouTube, StreamYard, and it seems to be working just fine. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Oh, I got a 5x5 from Paige. By the way, we are on the road. We are still at the end of the Freedom Roadshow. We are in Albuquerque. Everybody needs to learn how to spell Albuquerque without spell checker. Having a blast, having an amazing time, meeting amazing people, having amazing adventures in frozen sewer pipes in the RV. All of it is just you can't buy this kind of entertainment. And at the road shows, we're having a blast. Meeting people is so much better than talking on YouTube. But hey, how many people can you reach? We're going for a lot. So one more show on Saturday from 2 to 6 in Albuquerque. Go to roadtoruta.com to the roadshow section. As you can see on my fancy little screen, I got the roadshow section up there. You can scroll down and you can buy tickets to the show on Saturday in Albuquerque, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. Everyone has been a blast. We've been posting, we need to post more, but I haven't caught up because we've been so busy. Live shows on the private road. We will at some point have all of them posted up there. I think we only have the first one posted up there. But we've had some great friends on the road. Andy Scheckman was out there where was Andy? He was in San Diego and had a blast. He just had the whole, and that's what I want to talk about today, mainly silver and the transition that's going on. So important. Yeah. By the way, give me a like and a thumbs up and a subscribe. Oh my God. We've been trying to hit 100,000 subscribers since I can't even remember when. So make sure you hit subscribe because sometimes YouTube will just take off my subscribers because I'm getting too close to 100. So please subscribe and give me a thumbs up and share this with all your friends and family. I want to talk a little about my take on when this transition will happen, the crashing of the old system and the beginning of the new system. It is happening. We're in the process. But yeah, it's ongoing. I'll get to that in a second. I also want to thank Jenny Moonstone came out, Litecoin Lisa came out, Clint Westwood came out, a bunch of people came out to talk and to support the cause. And very excited about that. As you can see, the whole world is falling apart financially. I do want to point something out. I'm going to try to put this on my screen, so please bear with me because I'm brand new to this. Everybody told me it was easy. That was easy so far. Now let's see if I can switch screens to this screen here. Look at that. It's like clockwork. Unbelievable. Very important story that I've been talking about. I can't even remember how long I've been talking about this. This is the story of commodity trading houses, these big, gigantic mofos who rig the price of commodities. It goes all the way back to Mark Rich, if you guys remember Mark Rich. Let me try to change the screen. I went through the Road to Ruta website, and I wrote an article on Glencore metal derivatives conspiracies in the in-game. What was it, like 10 years ago? So long ago, about Mark Rich, Trafigura, Glencore. All these names are going to be in the news headlines very soon. Go check that out. Go to roadtoruta.com, click that search button, and look up Glencore metal derivatives conspiracies in the in-game. It talks all about what's happening, the in-game of our monetary system. The biggest issue with the monetary system is commodities, because if commodity prices go up because they're printing too much money or any other, you name it for the reason, then you have loss in confidence in the ability for the central banks to control the printing of money. I just hope everybody is clear that the central banks have only one tool in their tool basket, and that's to print more money. Same with the Democrats and same with the socialists. There's only one tool in their tool belt, and that's print more money, print more money, print more money. So please go to Road to Ruta, read that article, Glencore Metal Derivatives Conspiracies in the Endgame. It'll show you the dark and seedy world of Mark Rich. Mark Rich, he was once one of America's top 10 most wanted criminals in the world. And then Clinton pardoned him because he helped facilitate the strong dollar policy. The strong dollar policy was mainly to rig the prices of commodities and has been going on forever. And they rig it with the real thing, but you don't need much of the real thing. You don't need much copper to rig the copper price. You don't need much silver to rig the silver price. What you need is derivatives and the regulators to turn the other way. And that's exactly what they do. If they're on your side, if it's something they want, for example, the price suppression of silver for the last 170 years, yeah, the regulators will look the other way. If it's something they don't want, for example, silver to break $30, Rustam Benham, they call it Rustam Benham, the head of the only CFTC member right now, actually as of Tuesday or Wednesday, and called up Rustam Benham and said, hey, we need to rig the silver price. We need to cap it at $30 and slam the price down, or Bank of America will go under, which will take down every finance company in the world. It's a too big to fail bank. So that's what they did. But it all stems the core, the really Achilles heel, shall we say, of the banking cabal, the unbacked fiat money system is commodities. And the number one commodity, the most important commodity, is both an industrial commodity and a monetary metal, and that is silver. Gold is pretty much only a monetary metal. And gold, there's so much gold in the world, I can't even begin to tell you. Try 10 or 20 times the amount they tell you. Jeffrey Christian will say there's 200,000 tons of gold that's ever been mined. It's more like 2 million. Anywhere, my guess is 2 million to 10 million has been mined or found and locked up in a national park, national wildlife sanctuary, shit like that. The Anwar Alaskan Save the Moose area, where they won't dig out oil and they won't dig up gold because of the moose. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. In California, there's massive gold mines at Chocolate Mountain around that area, and the federal government has locked up 41% of California. If you didn't know, so every time Gavin Newsom and the lefties say we're going to break away from the Trump administration, we're going to have California be its own country. Well, good luck with that. You'll get 59% of the land, but good luck trying to get the other 41% that has all the natural resources and all the gold, the silver, the copper, you name it, massive amounts of natural resources down, mainly in Southern California. And that's exactly where the federal government owns it. And Gavin Newsom and his army of leftists cannot go in there and take it. Yeah. So anyway, that's a great article to check out. What I want to do is talk about some things that I've been really interested in and watching closely. Clearly, the commodity houses are not being able to access money anymore. And that's a huge problem because they control the price of commodities. And again, commodities are the anti-fiat money system. So Trafigura is in deep trouble right now. They are currently, these big mining companies and commodity trading firms like Trafigura, Glencore, those are the two big ones that Mark Rich started, Trafigura and Glencore. Glencore was separated into a public company, Trafigura a private company. They basically collude together to rig the prices. But now Trafigura is in trouble. This is bigger than Lehman being in trouble and Bear Stearns and being in trouble. All those are solvable by another big bank coming in. Trafigura goes down or Glencore goes down, or the derivative control mechanism of commodities ends. That's the end of the monetary system in general, the end of central banking. So that's kind of where we are. It's real exciting to see. I would like to talk about silver as well. Now, silver, I have been screaming for the last couple of weeks that Bank of America needs to get the price of silver below the 50, 100, and 200-day moving averages. With today's jump in the price again, it's not quite looking yet like they're going to be able to do it. They have till next Wednesday to do it. So 4 or 5 trading days left. Then their hope, and the reason they're going to gun for the 200-day moving average, especially the 200-day, is they think the tech funds will do what they have always done. When it breaks the moving averages, they pile up the shorts and then they can finally cover some of their naked shorts. I'm not so sure that'll happen this time. There's just way too much going on. Even the tech funds use leverage, and that leverage is being pulled back by the banksters. The borrowing, lending to anybody dealing in commodities is going away. So I don't see how they can do it, even if they slam it below the 200-day moving average, which is right around $24. I don't think the tech funds are going to pile in. And then who's going to be the only seller? Bank of America and friends, shall we say. So that's where we are. I'm real excited that silver is above the 200-day moving average in 100-day and 50-day. But also I'm not too worried if it goes under that, because I don't think their normal tricks are going to work. The whole world knows about this shit. The whole world knows JP Morgan lent 800 million ounces. Thanks to Ted Butler, by the way. Ted's awesome. And he's been playing this game for a lot longer than we have. And I can pretty much say that on YouTube and cover the whole gambit, because Ted's been in here since the 1980s fighting against, he discovered the original way to rig the silver price by leasing, and gold price by leasing metal into the markets. He discovered that in the 1980s. And then the commercials versus the tech. Again, we all owe so much, we should have so much gratitude for Ted and what he's done over the past 40, 50 years in trying to free the price of silver from manipulation. Now the only thing standing in our way is Bank of America, JP Morgan most likely, and friends, and Rustin Benham, the head of the CFTC, who decides that tamping down the price of silver is much more important than free markets. That's the world we live in. And it's great to see the big guys like Glencore and Trafigura be in trouble. By the way, Glencore is shedding assets right now. They're trying to raise money any way they can. They sold, I know they sold $100 million worth of assets down in Bolivia. And also they had a gigantic sale of over $1 billion in Western Australia just in the last couple of days. So keep an eye on that. That would be a monster if Glencore is gone. Trafigura, if these trading houses go, they're counterparties to everybody. So yeah, that's the way this system ends. And that's where we are. All right, I do want to go back to, okay, where was I? I want to point out this guy. Let's see if I get this tab right. Okay, view on StreamYard. I think that is correct. Can everybody see the Cliff High videos? Go to BitChute, watch Dinner with Trump. Watch the Dinner with Trump video and listen to what he says about the changing financial system. Absolutely in line with the road to Ruta theory. Absolutely 100% in line with the comic books the Fed put out in 1981, 2007 that I've been screaming about for so long. There are good guys. There are good guys behind the scenes who got this thing, I wouldn't say fully in hand, but they are forcing the hand of everything that's going on right now. And as I suggested long ago, I do believe that China and Russia will collude together to destroy the heart of the banking system, which is commodities. Allow those commodities just to run wild, allow the derivatives to get destroyed. And I think it was Trump and Putin and Xi got together and planned this out long ago. And we're just living through it now. Watch when the U.S. Starts banning, or they already did start censoring and banning or putting sanctions on some of the Chinese big guys. Are you insane? Does the Biden administration not know that we get everything from China? They make our everything. They provide us with everything. Most of the silver that gets mined in the world will leave the mine as doré, like either bars or this kind of a sludge, and goes to China to be refined. If you want to destroy the economic system, there's two countries you push away. Number one of the largest resource producing countries, which is Russia, and number two is China. That's exactly what the U.S. is doing. Do I think they're doing it on purpose? Yes, because they can't be that stupid. It's hard for me to imagine that the United States, even Biden, isn't that stupid unless they are trying to destroy the system, which I think is where we are. Okay. that's my update. And I want to get into questions today. If I can get this right and change that screen. I'm getting good at this. Look at that. All right. We're going to go to the chat room. I still don't have my chats available on YouTube normally because people were losing massive amounts of cryptos and getting conned, and there's just nothing good that came of it. I know a bunch of friends of mine are doing the same thing, and it's too bad because I know people like to chat in the chat room and read what everybody has to say. I'm not trying to stay away from people who criticize my work, not at all. And I have challenged anybody to an online debate about any of the road to Ruta theory stuff, but nobody's taken me up on it yet. It should be interesting if that ever happens. It's happened before, and it was pretty easy to win because I've been studying the road to Ruta theory since 2007, so I pretty much am the expert on that theory. So good luck trying to knock down my. I challenged Jim Willey to a debate about the Golden Grand Canyon, and he just refused. But hey, live and learn, right? Everybody's learning as we go along. So let's open it up for the chat. I've got Josh and Paige sitting over there. Amy's somewhere. They're on the road still with us. It's very exciting to have the young kids on the road. And let's go for the first question. Who's got the first question? Paige, Josh. They're working on it. I see one. I'll just jump in. Will Russia back the ruble with gold? And will it boost the price? I don't think any country. See, there's a difference between backing a currency when faith is gone and over, and turning to a gold standard where you could go in and cash in a backed currency for the actual metal, or you actually walk around with coins in your pocket. Faith is going away in the central banking system. They will have to turn to something that is standalone. I think both gold, silver, and cryptos also will be used in the future. I think immediately any country that backs, and they'll all try probably, backs their currency with gold would see immediate withdrawal of gold. Yeah, gold will go, it doesn't matter what they back it with, as long as they can be you can withdraw the gold because you have a lot of fiat. It would instantly, everybody would run out and get the gold that the banks are offering. So backing a currency with gold that is not redeemable is useless because there's no trust left. So it doesn't even matter what they say. So I don't think Russia's going to back the ruble with gold. I think if they have a redeemable gold standard, they call it the ruble, call it whatever they want, but people have to be able to go into the bank with their gold ruble / currency and cash it in. Most likely they'd issue a new type of currency like the United States of America will do. We'll actually issue an old type of currency, which is the US dollar and not the Federal Reserve notes. That's my take on that. So, okay, do we have any questions?
Lots of questions.
Let's hear one, Josh.
If you have $1,000 to buy, how much silver, Theta, and T fuel?
If you have $1,000 to invest, how much would you put in silver, Theta, and T fuel? First of all, I like the three. Those are probably the three I would buy. I would put 50% in silver and then 50%, or about 50-50 in T, so 25% in Theta and 25% in T fuel. I think the crypto will be good, really good after the crash. But silver's been price suppressed for 170 years. So I think that's going to be, when silver's let go, that's going to be the mother of all moonshots. I do think it will go 1-to-1 with gold, and gold should do okay, even though there is millions of tons of gold out there. I think gold will hit, $5,000, $10,000, maybe $20,000, $50,000. But I think silver is going to go 1-to-1 with that if it was freely traded, and that's the key to everything. Now that stuff doesn't happen on the comics. That's a banker's exchange. Same with the LBMA. Those are banker exchanges where they make the rules, so it could never go 1-to-1 on those exchanges. But I think those exchanges are not long for this world. But that's my take. Thank you for the question, Josh. All right, next question, please.
When do you see the banks starting to fail, and when will normies see it?
When do I see the banks starting to fail, and when will normies see it? Well, every night at the Federal Reserve Bank in New York, the banks fail. They have to borrow $1.5 trillion to stay, to keep the doors open for the next day. So the banks are failing, have failed, did fail. It's just the central bank prints money and has it keep going. When will it be noticeable? I think when the commodity market fully implodes. Say Trafigura goes down or Glencore goes down, and then all of a sudden that's a contagion that they can't stop. And then everything will kind of shut down probably at the same time. And the people will be scratching their heads saying, oh my God, what have we done? Hopefully World War III won't break out. And the good guys behind the scenes will have taught their lesson to people about scarcity, money, the importance of scarcity and money. Because right now, every solution to every problem is throw money at it. I heard California is giving away $10 billion because gas prices are going up. That's the exact opposite. All it's going to do is add fuel to the fire and make gas more expensive if more people are bidding on the gas that's out there. And there's all kinds of just crazy things going on. So yeah, I think it'll happen in the commodity markets, and that will freeze up the banking system. It could happen at any moment overnight. You never know. Okay, next question, please.
How about a barbershop quartet between you, Bitcoin Ben, Dick Allgaier, and Snippy?
How about a barbershop quartet between me, Bitcoin Ben, Dick Allgaier, and Snippy? I will go all the way with Snippy and Dick Allgaier. I've heard Ben sing, and I love the boy to death, but he's not the best singer. He's got other talents. So yeah, definitely with Mr. Allgaier and Mr. Snippy, that would be very fun. Okay, next.
Are U.S. minted coins, quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies worth anything with fiat paper?
Well, this is a good question. Are U.S. minted coins, quarters, dimes, nickels? I would add $50 and dollars, although they're not used that much. Are they worth anything? We're not talking about the silver, just regular. I would say abso-freaking-lutely, because they are money of the U.S. government. They are not Federal Reserve notes. Everything else is probably a Federal Reserve note. The coinage of the United States is made by the Mint, the U.S. Mint, which is a division of the U.S. government. It is not made by the Federal Reserve System. The bills are made by the Federal Reserve System. So I do think they will be worth quite a bit more than what was in the banking system, because I see it like I wouldn't call it deflation. I would say an end to the Federal Reserve note and a reintroduction of a new kind of money, both gold, silver, and other metals. And right now, the problem is with unbacked fiat money, the ability to create as much as you want with an electronic blip. The coins of the United States a lot of the coins are worth more in the metal than they are in the stated value on the coin. And we've seen it happen with silver, obviously, in the 60s, but also with copper in the early 80s. And now I think zinc and some of the other alloys. It's just gotten so insane. Not that I would store up all kinds of change for that kind of transition. I'd rather have it in silver. Silver coinage is my favorite, the pre-65 coinage, what they call junk silver. They call it junk silver, I think, because back before people really knew what was going on with our monetary system, silver coinage from the U.S. would trade for less than the spot price of silver. And I remember David Morgan putting an article out, I don't know, 20 years ago, something like that said that he could get you silver below. If you join his, I think if you join my my website newsletter, I can get you silver below the cost of spot price. And he could, and he'd just say, hey, just go buy junk silver, U.S. coinage. Now that premium is way up there because I think it's the best kind of silver to own and hold because of the laws against anti-counterfeiting. are much stronger than the laws against forgery or fraud. If if someone's making molybdenum bar instead of is it molybdenum or instead of silver. I think those were the two. I forgot what it was. Anyway, keep an eye out for fake coins, fake bars. I like to stick to 1 ounce and below the best I can. Pre-65, although the premiums are crazy. I was hearing the wholesale premiums for Silver Eagles are over $10, which is crazy. It's like 40% premium on something you're buying that is supposed to be by law made by the U.S. Mint in quantities equal to support demand, which is it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter about price. By law, they have to create as many of those coins as possible, and they are not. So they are breaking the law, and Janet Yellen should go to jail. Good luck with that. All right, next question.
Would the U.S. federal government release its gold in the ground slowly to take advantage of its high value?
Will the U.S. government release the gold they have in the ground slowly to preserve the high value? No, I think if the U.S. government ever, pull gold out of the Chocolate Mountain or Grand Canyon or wherever they have it, or even Fort Knox to sell, that would be long after they don't. The U.S. government doesn't care about fiat money at all. They create that shit for free, so it doesn't matter. A lot of the banks don't care about fiat money either. They create it for free. It doesn't matter. They get free bailouts. They do care about commodities and the value of those commodities. So, no, the government doesn't need to keep the price of gold high in U.S. dollar terms. They don't care. So that's my take there. Next question.
How and where can we see if Theta will be sold out?
Well, it's impossible. The question is how and where can we see if Theta will be sold out? It's impossible for anything to be sold out. There's a price for everything. If the 1 billion Theta coins are staked, I think along the lines of the question is keep an eye on how many Theta are staked and how many are not staked, and that'll give you an idea of how many could be possibly bought and sold. And I guess you could sell a staked wallet without transferring it, but you would see if it ever got unstaked. So right now it's like 65% of Theta is staked. Everything's got a price. If you're the last, if all the Theta were sold and staked, and somebody offered $1 billion for a single Theta token, someone would unstake it probably today. Maybe not in the future, but today someone would unstake it and sell it. The price should always, at all times, equal the value of whatever you're buying. By definition, that's supposed to happen. The problem is these exchanges that we have in cryptos, in gold and silver, don't play by those rules and create infinite amounts of crypto to trade on the exchanges, hoping, like at Mt. Gox, that everybody doesn't come and pull their coins at the same time or pull out their silver at the same time. Like on the COMEX. The COMEX trades 500 million ounces a day, in decent trading times, and they know they don't have it. It's a fractional reserve system, just like our banking system. So the reality of the exchanges versus the reality of holding something that has value is completely different. Not all has to change. And Reggie Middleton invented a way to do that with Veritasium, but the powers that be in the SEC, currently run by Hillary Clinton's finance manager, Gary Gensler, decided that Reggie's solution wasn't good for them. It might have been great for humanity, but it wasn't good for the banking cabal, the politicians' donation jar and things like that. So that's kind of where we are. Next question, please.
Should we cash in our 401k and buy metals?
That is up to you. The question is, should I cash in my 401k? and buy metals. I can't give that kind of advice. I wouldn't cash in anything. I'd contact perpetualassets.com, my friend Will Lair, and say, hey, I want to do a self-directed rollover, IRA rollover. If you're worried about the amount of time needed to do that, it takes like a month between the crashing of the system. I don't know. I can't advise you on that. I did that. I rolled over my IRA into a self-directed IRA, but I can't tell you what to do. That's something you got to do your own homework, and I suggest going to perpetualassets.com and check out what they offer there. Next, please.
What's up with Theta and Reggie having a chit chat as per Willie?
As per Jim Willie, Theta and Reggie having a chit chat as per Jim Willie. Jim doesn't know what we're talking about when that came up. It was what happened between Theta and Reggie was Reggie just poked his head into one of their AMAs and said, hey, I'm here if you have any questions, because people were asking about it, whether or not Theta violates Reggie's patent. And Theta said, no. And I don't think it's even close to the closest crypto that violates Reggie's patent. So it wouldn't be, if I was Reggie, it wouldn't be the one I'd be going after. I'd be going after like XRP, which obviously violates the patent. So yeah, it wasn't handled, I don't think, on either side well. Reggie didn't do anything. All he did was pop into a chat, but other people have different agendas, and Reggie doesn't hate Theta. Theta doesn't hate Reggie. But yeah, I don't see anything immediate on that front that Theta has to worry about, because there's so many other crypto DeFi coins that specifically violate Reggie's patent. So that's my take on that. All right, Paige, what you got?
Other than Theta and T-Fuel, what are your other top 3 cryptos and why?
Other than Theta and T-Fuel, what are my other top 3 cryptos? Top 5. I would say, okay, fine. Top 5 cryptos. I think everybody needs to have some Veritasium as a hedge against the SEC saying, well, we're gonna call Veritasium what it was, a patent that got approved. So anybody who violates that patent has to go through Reggie. That's kind of a hedge on the whole system, and I can see the SEC doing something like that just to throw a wrench in the crypto world. So I do have some Veritasium. I like Litecoin as a means of exchange. I think it's better than Bitcoin by far. And I think the Litecoin Bitcoin ratio is going to change to 4-to-1 at some point. And I don't even know what it is anymore. I like Bitcoin Cash as well. I like what Roger was doing. And even though he got a bunch of hate, I don't really care for Bitcoin maximalists. But that's just me. It doesn't matter. I'd like, what else do I like? I like the hot token. I like that's long term though. Long term. I think between Ethereum, will Ethereum ever get their shit together? I don't know. There's just so many cooks in that kitchen. And don't forget, I'm not saying that they're the Ethereum killer, but Theta can do so much better if you're running your business just like on Ethereum, because they use the same code, and it's fast and cheap. So I would highly recommend Reggie Middleton to move over and use the Theta token for his as his host blockchain. But hey, that's who knows. But I do own a little bit of Ethereum and a little bit. I own a little bit of, not everything, but a lot of different coins. Just kind of legacy stuff that I've had forever. But again, my number 1, number 2, and probably I don't know about number 3. Number 1 is definitely Theta. Theta is necessary for the future of the internet, in my opinion. Theta can solve all these problems that they're having with broadband expansion. There's not going to be a lot of money to go around in the near future, and Theta EdgeNote is a software download that could be downloaded on every smart TV on the planet and fix the problem in the blink of an eye. So yeah, think about that for a while and then scratch your head and say, oh my God, this is bigger than any crypto known to man. If you believe the internet is in trouble with all the need for high-speed broadband, then you'll look at Theta and say, oh my God, without Theta, the whole world is doomed, even the crypto world. So yeah, Theta is the biggie. That's the mother of all cryptos. And then Theta Fuel would be my number 2. Yep, that's my top few. How's that? All right, Paige, who do we got next? The best place to buy cryptos is from your neighbor, because the government will never know about it. If you don't have a neighbor, try all your friends who have cryptos and say, hey, why don't you want to go around the government? You can sell them to me. But if you want mainstream, wherever you buy them, I mean, if you're in the US, it's Coinbase and Kraken and Gemini is pretty much the only places you can buy it. But if you're outside the US, Binance is gigantic. They're the mother of all monsters. So yeah, if you're outside the US, definitely Binance. But make sure you take your cryptos off as soon as you get them. Take your cryptos off the exchanges, because these exchanges will not survive a banking crash. You'll be caught up. I'm still in that goddamn bankruptcy, Mt. Gox bankruptcy. I still have 1 Bitcoin in there, but they're telling me the value of it's like $700, $800 now, 1 Bitcoin, because it got destroyed because the lawyers took so much and the criminals. So yeah, it's crazy. Wherever you buy them, get them in your own possession. All right, Paige, what do we got next?
When will Veritasium be released by the SEC?
When will Veritasium be released by the SEC? Those who don't know, Veritasium, the Reggie Middleton's Veritasium token were frozen by the SEC. They have not been sold off. They're sitting there in limbo. I do think they'll be part of the new system. And when that moment happens, I think Veritasium will reach Cliff High's number, go past Bitcoin. Because if the SEC allows Reggie to do what he had planned to do, implement peer-to-peer transactions and get, Goldman Sachs's and JP Morgan's of the world gone, it would have been, and it should be, the most valuable crypto out there. And I think that's why they're frozen. I mean, I don't know this for sure. I use all my my woo-woo information from Cliff, from the my Jenny Moonstone readings, from reading all the documents that were filed, and discussions with Reggie, listening to what Reggie has to say. I don't think he knows, but I do think there are people behind the scenes working to fix the old system after it crashes. And the only way to do that, it would be a peer-to-peer system that Reggie invented. So I do think we're going to have the crash, and then the COMEX, the LBMA, the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ will all come and say, hey, okay, it's time to start again. And everybody will say, no, we're not going to let you be criminals again. Here's a new way to do it without the criminality, have peer-to-peer transactions on stock markets. So that's my take on that. And then in doing so, I think they will give Reggie back the tokens that they've frozen, I think completely illegally and definitely immorally. And what was done, Reggie needs a lot of payback from the U.S. government, if you ask me. All right, Paige again. What's your next question? Oh, Ledger Nano X or S for cold storage? I don't know. I think both are fine. I think the Trezor and the Ledger are the best out there for cold storage, in my opinion. Unless you're so savvy that you can, make paper wallets on your own, never touching the internet type of thing. It's hard to do that and stake tokens, for example. But you won't go wrong if you get a Ledger and a Trezor, either or. Just make sure you use them properly, and don't give away your secret words or anything like that. Yeah, it's interesting. All right, next question, please.
Is Nestra and Gestra a hoax?
Nestra and Gestra are not hoaxes, but they're not going to be adopted, is my take. Nestra, the National Economic Security and Recovery Act, and Gestra, the Global Economic Stability and Recovery Act. They weren't hoaxes. They were set up, and I think both of them came out in the 90s. I know Nestra did. I'm not sure when Gestra came out. And then people ran with them. They've been used in hoaxes. They've been used in the XRP scam. They've been used various ways. But when you read something like Nestra, you sit there and go, wait a minute, this doesn't solve any of the problems. And I've read it a couple times, a long time ago. I mean, it's been around forever. Everyone's, in 1999, Clinton signed it into law. It's going to happen. But a bunch of crap. I mean, it's kind of like the Iraqi dinar and all the other things. The quantum financial system, it's all bullshit. Remember, there will be no deciders when the shit falls apart. There'll be a lot of blame, and a lot of people will take the brunt of that blame, mostly politicians and bankers. They're not going to be the ones deciding. The people who shilled XRP will not be the ones deciding either. So I think they'll be at the raw end of that stick. But we're going to have to move to some. Luckily, the United States, at least, has a constitution, and we can go back to the Coinage Act of, 1872 or whatever it was, and look towards the original. No, that's the Silver Act. Anyway, we can go back to the Constitution using gold and silver as money. We still nobody erased that from the books. So I do think that's the first stop for the U.S. is go back to gold and silver. I think instantly silver will be seen as more valuable than gold. And probably not much silver will stay in circulation if big companies need to get their silver. So that's what I think. And but hey, you place your bets. I just highly recommend, if you're not an expert in transitions of global economic currency systems, don't believe anything you hear. That's all I have to say. All right, next question. Oh, okay. Josh said, go back to full screen. Now I don't even know if I'm going to know how to do this. There we go. Bigger screen. So they can see in my eyes, look in my eyes. Is Bix lying or is he telling the truth?
I understand having gold and silver in your possession is the best way to go. But what about having paid off property?
Question is real estate property, having paid off property. Absolutely. But I don't think, I don't think houses are appreciating assets in the new system. I think they are great assets to have in the transition, because in hyperinflation, they will, they'll look like they're going up in value. But the end of any fiat monetary system is the currencies are worth zero. So if your house is worth $10 million, but $10 million isn't worth anything, you still have your house. And I think same with land, although, certain parts of land, if you're a criminal like Mr. Gates, who bought up massive chunks of land, I think that can all be nationalized with Trump's executive order. And but yeah, I think real estate, if you have your asset in your own possession, no matter what it is. Now, I wouldn't even differentiate a paid off house versus a not paid off house, because if the system falls apart, the banks that played with the mortgage system are going to lose. All that's going to go away if they steal your money out of your checking and savings account. You're not going to have a destruction of the monetary system and the banks coming in and saying, I'm repossessing houses. So everybody, I hate to say this, but the largest debtors are going to be the best off. Depending on how many real assets they bought with that debt. And it comes down to what can you hold and control as far as your assets. I think a house is a good one. Gold, silver, and cryptos in your own possession, absolutely. Gold and silver not in your own possession, it's questionable no matter where it is. especially outside the country. I never agreed with it. Those people saying you need to hold your gold and silver outside of the United States. I'm like, good luck with that. You know, Switzerland is not even a safe place to go anymore. So we will see. We will see. We will see. Okay, next question, please.
What use case does Veritasium have so far, and what exchange can you buy Veritasium on?
What use case does Veritasium have, and what exchange can it be bought on? Reggie started a couple. I don't think they're currently running Veritasium, gold-backed Veritasium, silver-backed Veritasium, but I'm not sure if that's still ongoing. That was part of like an initial. Right now, I think it's just they're doing research. There's not much because of what the SEC did to them. Remember, Reggie had a memorandum of understanding with the Jamaican Stock Exchange to implement Veritasium. They were in the last stages of that before the SEC, who Reggie was working with, went behind his back and told them not to work with Reggie Middleton and not to implement Veritasium behind his back. And then they dropped the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding. And that's criminal. But that was done by our Securities and Exchange Commission and the people involved there. So there's tons of use cases. I think the most likely use case, if the government doesn't say, hey, come help us, would be real estate in Asia. His patent was approved first in Japan, and for real estate peer-to-peer transactions, I still can't believe real estate agents make as much money as they do. 3% on the front, 3% on the back, which is so ridiculous compared to what the amount of work they do. Sorry, all you real estate agents, but Veritasium could do that in a blink of an eye and cost practically nothing. So that's my take there. All right, what else we got? As far as buying, you can buy it on Mercatox. The problem with Veritasium is the market is so illiquid. If you buy or sell $10,000 worth of Veritasium, you're going to bump the price 10, 20, 30%. And there are some swap exchanges that have it. There's a few different places. So just be careful. Don't put in a market bid or anything like that, because it's gonna, if you go in there with $10,000, you see the price of Veritasium jump 50%. All right, next, please.
Skullcap Savant.
Skullcap Savant.
He's asking, what are going to be the items missing from our shelves that have the greatest impact on us, not including food, of course?
What are going to be, what are the items that are going to be missing from our shelves that are going to have the greatest impact besides food? Good question, Ben. I mean, Skullcap. By the way, Skullcap and his lovely girlfriend were at the show in Phoenix, and we had a blast. Great people. And go check him out on Theta TV. So what are we going to miss the most besides food? I'll say besides food and water. They're pretty important. I used to say toilet paper until I got this electric bidet that I can carry with me. But I would say mostly transportation and protection assets. So transportation, what are we going to do if we don't have gasoline, or you can't afford gasoline? There's electric cars. What if you can't afford the electricity? You have a bicycle. I mean, electric bike, you could plug it in. You can charge it with a solar panel type of thing. Guns and ammo, obviously, but that's more protection. Just to function on a day-to-day without food and water, you're going to need power and communication devices, crank radio maybe. I don't know. Truthfully, I was a prepper back in the 1990s. Some of my prepper food went bad, believe it or not. But yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, you can go down the list of any prepper. Go. There's a lot of good prepper sites. Go to a prepper site. But I think the most important, besides food and water, is going to be protection and transportation. I would guess. That might not be a great answer. Water purification. Yeah, that's a good one too. Batteries. I'd get a crank radio. Or rechargeable batteries with the solar panel, maybe. I don't know. It depends. Truthfully, it depends how long this is going to last. Now, the road to Ruta theory says we've been planning this for over 100 years, since 1913, planning this transition. So hopefully, and I believe so, that there is a plan in place to move forward. And hopefully it won't last more than a couple of weeks to get implemented. And then it's off to the races. If you listen to Cliff High's latest, it's like, yeah, absolutely. Our biggest problem is we live with debt money under these, in a state of slavery, in a nanny state. And we need to get out from under that and take care of ourselves. And when that's done, you got the boot off your neck. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be chaotic, but I'm looking forward to it. Next question, please.
If silver hits $2,000, what will be your first guitar purchase?
If silver, I always wanted to get, the question is, if silver hits $2,000, what will be my guitar purchase? I always wanted to have like a custom guitar. I've seen them before with like my name in between each fret. I guess, like inlaid, like a real nice thing. I guess that would be it. They make those now. I think, I don't know what kind of guitar, but I like my guitar right now. Maybe I can have something inlaid in silver into my current guitar. I could probably do that. Maybe I'll do that anyway. But silver could hit $2,000 in a blink of an eye, but it won't happen on the comics, I don't think. As we can tell, comics prices have nothing to do with the real price of silver, because you go try to buy a silver eagle under $30, under $35, and good luck getting it. So we will see. Bix, I miss leaving comments on your videos. Can you make that happen? Not at the moment. Too many people, too many trolls trolling for other people's wealth. And with cryptos, because I'm involved in cryptos, it's so easy to con somebody out of cryptos. And people use my face, my image, my username, everything to steal people's wealth. And I had enough. All right. Paige, what's the next question you got?
Do you think they will delay student loan payments again? Remember, there have been 2 elections this fall.
Do I think they'll delay student loans payments again because there's midterm elections this fall? Of course they will. They're going to forgive all student loans. That's the largest debt of, I think, of the population is student loans. And everybody who didn't take a student loan should be extremely livid that your government is in choosing who should pay for people's college. Anybody who pays taxes is paying for people's student loans currently. And I think, I'm at the point where it's like there's so much insanity going on with our government. Why give them any money at all? And we might hit that point where everybody stands up and says, hell no, we're not paying taxes anymore for anything. I highly recommend doing an extension. But, with extensions, you got to pay the money up front, or they charge you interest and penalties and things like that. So, I am not advocating a tax revolt, although I probably would participate if things keep going the way they're going. That's my take. All right, next question, please.
You say silver will be $600 an ounce, but will milk also cost $300?
Silver, I say silver will be $600 an ounce, but will milk cost $300? No, not that kind of disparity. Milk is fairly freely traded. I think there's milk futures, and I don't know. There's cattle, definitely. But the price of milk has not been rigged for 170 years. So if milk is $300, I expect silver to be $300,000 an ounce. It's not inflation that's going to drive silver to $600. It is the end of price manipulation from 170 years back. So that's my answer to that. Yes, Josh.
Speaking of silver, what's the best site to buy silver?
What's the best site to buy silver? I highly recommend someone you trust. The best place is your local coin shop. Go make relationships with them. Walk in with cash, walk out with silver. If you don't have that kind of relationship with your local guy, I trust my guy, Andy Scheckman at Miles Franklin. He has helped so many Roto-Rooter customers, and he continues to help so many Roto-Rooter customers. He can be contacted at Andy, A-N-D-Y, at milesfranklin.com, milesfranklin.com. Everything else is a crapshoot. You know, if you've used someone for a long time, it is when silver starts going crazy that silver dealers start to fold. If they start telling you, hey, you got a month to wait for this order, go find someone else who has something in inventory that they can send you. Tell Andy, I want you to send me whatever you got in inventory. I don't have time to wait. I trust that Andy will get his stuff, but at the same time, if the system falls apart, who knows? Start with your local guy, and then if you don't have somebody else, contact Andy Scheckman. Next question, please. Will there be enough gold available when we want to trade in the silver for gold? There's always enough of everything. The question is, what kind of price, what kind of ratio will we be using? The price is broken on exchanges. It's not broken in real life. As you can tell, when you go out and buy a silver dollar for $35, price is broken outside of the criminal exchanges. I mean, price is broken in the criminal exchanges, not outside. So yes, you will be able to get as much gold as you want for swapping it for silver. The question is, what kind of ratio are we talking? Are we talking 75 to 1 like it is right now? Or after the collapse of the commodity markets, will we find a true fair market value for silver and gold? And I think it will be a swap of 1 to 1. You'll be able to take your 1,000-ounce bar of silver and swap it for a 1,000-ounce bar of gold at some point in a freely traded market. Okay, what's the next question?
Have you ever had interaction with Chris Dwayne?
Have I ever had interactions with Chris Dwayne? Yes, many. Chris and I go way back to the early 2000s. I think he got into silver right around a little after the time I did. But he took it to the extreme. He is an extreme person in general. I don't dislike Chris. I don't like Chris. He never believed in the Roto theory that they were good guys, and I didn't blame him for that. He just didn't fully understand it. And then afterwards, you got Q and all that. I don't know. I haven't watched him in a long time, but Chris has made some amazing coins. I do know that. The Freedom Girl coin. Before the Roto coin came around, the Freedom Girl coin was the best coin out there besides the Silver Eagles. I still love that coin. Heidi Watsweet is the designer of that coin. And while we're talking coins, we might have a new Roto coin coming. I will let you know in the next couple of weeks. We got to move fast. We might do pre-orders, and it is the coolest coin in the world. I just have to say, because it's really unique. It's got some really special features on it. So just like the Roto coin, original one with the Cave of Gold and all the secret meaning, this one has, it's true to my heart, shall we say. All right, next question, please.
Do you plan for a roadshow to the East Coast?
Yes, we do plan on having, the question is, do we plan on doing a roadshow to the East Coast? We would love to hit the entire world with the roadshow, starting with the United States of America. Again, Saturday is the last one of this leg of the tour. It is in Albuquerque from 2 to 6. The next one probably starts this summer, and then another one later in the summer, and then maybe one in the winter. We haven't solidified areas and dates yet, but we will let you know. And the best way to keep up with all this is to go to rotoruta.com, put your name and email address in the email area. All right. Okay, I want to make sure everybody clicks like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Subscribe, please. We got to get up to 100,000. And if you've already subscribed and then something kicked off, hit subscribe again. I don't know why something kicks in at 100,000 and they don't censor you as much, or I'm not sure what goes on. But it's still difficult. It's still difficult out there. So please try to support Roto, especially get the emails. If you go to roto.com, the website, which we have right here. Let me see if I can. which we'll get a closer look at right there. And you go up to, it would be, you scroll down, actually, on the left side, there should be, if you go to the home, on the left side, right there, subscribe for free public road updates. Just your name and email address, and then we update every time we post something. So all the information will be there. We got time for a couple more questions. Paige, what do you got? Explain the notch in the U.S. Silver Eagles. Actually, silver and gold eagles have the notch. I don't know if the gold eagles have the notch in the 2021, but I think they do in the 2022 version. It's difficult to explain the notch other than what the U.S. Mint told us, and they said it was for anti-counterfeiting measures. Now, just having a notch in the bottom of a gold and silver eagle, you would think has nothing to do with anti-counterfeiting, because you could just take a file and notch every coin you have. But Cliff had contacted me about a new type of identification marker they can put there. I think he said it was like a Braille version of something to identify each specific coin, give them serial numbers or something to that effect. I have done a microscopic look at the notch, and one of our scientific followers did that and sent me pictures, and I don't see anything there. The other possibility is some kind of RFID chip that can be put there. I don't think it's there yet, and I don't think it will be put there until the time is right. But definitely they did it for a reason. And if the reason was what they quoted, what they said was for anti-counterfeiting purposes, then something will probably be placed in the notch. That's my take. All right, we got time for one more question here. We've gone on for about an hour. It's been great to catch up. I hope everybody is sitting on the sidelines with their Veritasium in their own possession, their Theta up the yin-yang, Theta fuel, everything staked, earning more and more. Silver, obviously, as much as you can. If you have gold, swap it as soon as you can for silver, is my take. And you got all your possessions. You're sitting on the sidelines. You're not involved in the insanity. You're not thinking that the world will blow up. You're not thinking that there's people who seem to be in charge of our country. They're not in charge. There's good guys behind the scenes, is my take. So one more question. Paige, what do you got? The silver, Theta, or pineapples. Those who don't know, I have a pineapple that I am very attached to. This is for the Secret Pineapple Society on Theta FTs. I love my pineapple, but I also love my silver dagger. So it's right now it's between what's more precious to me, my pineapple or my silver dagger. I'm going to say the silver dagger, just because. And I bring that, by the way, we bring it to all our live shows. It's under guard, armed guards at all times. So, but I pass it around and people get to touch it, put some good juju into the silver dagger. So that's it. You guys, thank you so much. Thank you for following the Road to Ruta. Thanks for putting up with my new. It seems to work. This live stream thing seems to work. So I think I'll give it a better try next time and try to bring in guests so we can chat with people about what's going on as we transition out of the old system and into a new one. Get your assets in your possession, whatever you do. If there's anything that I'm passionate about, it's getting your assets in your own possession. So thank you so much. And hopefully you come out to see us in Albuquerque on Saturday. And looking forward to that. Thank you, guys. Signing off.